That was horrible.
Breaking news, folks. Welcome to the 1950s, where I got to the bit faster than Derek could, so I get to start the news bit.
I literally knew you were going to start because you took a breath before me. I was like, oh, he beat me to the breath. He wins.
And we're back here in the 1950s. We've got breaking news for you here at That Was Horrible News headquarters. Derek, there are bats everywhere. They're all over the city. They're all over the ground and the skies and the buildings, the birds, the bees. They're all over the place.
I am here on site looking around me. Yes, sir, I do see there is in fact one plastic bat. I repeat, one plastic bat.
Yes, we've got Derek down on the ground. How are the people around you? Is there a mass panic about this bat?
They are completely content. No one cares at all. There is one bat. I repeat, there's one plastic bat.
Now, news reports here say there must be millions, hundreds of them even, but you're reporting just the one.
There is one plastic bat. I repeat, there is one plastic bat.
Now, our secretary here is handing me a paper. He says this is, in fact, not actually just a bat. A bat is a combination of the two words big rat. Are you seeing any big rats around you, Derek?
No, but I am seeing a blasted rat. I am seeing, I repeat, a blasted rat.
Can you describe this blasted rat to me, please?
Well, if you look really closely at its nose, it's a bigger, little thin white line. This rat has been blasted. He did a whole bunch of cocaine. You didn't get that one.
I was thinking more about like a scorch mark on the ground where it got blasted away into nothingness. No, not that one. Okay.
No, I'm specifically talking about the cocaine usage of this black.
I'm receiving another paper here from my secretary. It says, in fact, everyone can go back to your daily lives and everything is normal. Is in fact just a regular baseball bat. There is no harm will come to anyone unless you are prone to being bludgeoned to death, which I think most of you are out there. We're all susceptible to being bludgeoned to death.
Me, Derek, co-host of the podcast.
And me, Isaac, co-host of the podcast from back in the 50s.
I am actually completely free of the disease known as being bludgeoned to death by a baseball bat.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, I went to treatment for it for a few weeks.
I'm currently in treatment.
Times.
I'm currently in treatment to stop my weird 50s voice, and I can't seem to shake
you almost got it.
I'm almost
Try
there.
one more time. Say, the brown cow ran through.
The brown cow ran through.
There you go.
We're fine. Everything's back.
No,
We're back to normal.
That was horrible co-host.
Yeah, of course. It's me, Isaac, and you.
Derek, ready to
Yeah, exactly. So we're not in the 50s anymore. We're in our good year. Good
year blimp.
Good year
Not
of
sponsored.
the snake. What year is it? I think
it was the bat.
It's the year of the bat. The year of the bat 2025. Here we are on That Was Horrible. This is our little podcast where we do our best.
It is the year of the snake.
I was right.
We do our best at
reviewing.
No.
The worst.
No. I'll get it.
Derek, you're lying. You're lying.
Do you know why I'll get it?
reviewing
Because this is the
worst.
90th episode.
Episode 90.
Yeah.
That's. I feel like we've been in the 80s for a minute.
Back in the 80s.
No.
90s. Yeah. So actually, we're podcast. Wait, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
Get it.
Take it.
Even though this bit, if you look back, this bit didn't start till 20 episodes ago.
But let's get it clean. So what you got here and go.
Okay. That Was Horrible is a podcast that watches movies that are rated poorly, and normally they're movies that are spooky, scary, and then they tell you if they were bad or good.
I mean, yeah.
Did I do it?
It's a little exacerbated. You know, we could get
What did I do? I have no hairy paws
on the
I
podcast.
didn't exacerbate myself. Is that
Where
anything?
does that myth come from?
Well,
I've
it
never
comes
heard that
from-
until I met you talking about the connection between masturbation and hairy hands.
Yeah, so there was
Where
a
does
guy.
this come from?
There was a guy back in the 40s
Named Harry Hands.
Yeah, and his name was Harry Hands.
Harry Hansen.
He jerked off so much.
Yeah.
That a group of werewolves broke into his house, ripped off of his dick, and then said, "Take that. You'll get hairy hands if you masturbate."
The cult of the lunar hygienics got to him.
They did.
The werewolf cult we created last episode.
Yeah. See episode 89 for lunar hygienics.
For the cult
lore.
of the lunar hygienics.
Well, but they notoriously hate masturbation. Because they're
it's
all
super against
They love
it.
doggy style.
Well, listen.
Hate masturbation.
Okay. Absolutely. Two things you got to know about the lunar hygienics.
Love doggy
style, hate masturbation.
Hate masturbation.
But you have to, they absolutely would hate masturbation because they're all about being clean, right?
Exactly.
And that is the filthiest you can get your hands. Yeah. That's why they get so covered in hair.
And doggy style, notoriously
loved by wolves and dogs alike.
I am, of course, talking about the plate of fries you can buy from In-N-Out.
That's a thing?
Yeah,
You
animal
can
style.
do that? Okay, animal style. Yeah, okay,
No,
that much I know.
Call it doggy style. They know
No,
what you
I'm not
mean.
going to walk into an In-N-Out, Derek. Hello, yes, hi, welcome to In-N-Out. What can I get for you? Yeah, can I get some doggy style fries?
They'll know what you
Just
mean.
stop at doggy
Don't
style.
shake
Yeah,
the table.
can I get those doggy style?
Can I get those doggy style?
Yeah, I love a real dirty doggy style. You know what I mean. Wink at them.
If you wink, then you get in trouble.
if you wink at them, then they fucking call the police on you.
But if you don't wink, then you're fine. And you just get a nice plate of fries covered in whatever it is. It's like what?
Meth.
Like, no, it's
Methamphetamines.
Why?
Because it makes you feel like an animal. You know,
What is
unleash the
animal
beast.
style? I've never actually
cannot
had it.
control the beast within. Yeah, listen, we're a horror podcast where we do our best reviewing the worst, but sometimes we are also informative to those of you who might not know what doggy style, animal style fries are.
The AI
In-N-Out.
overview on Google says animal style is a popular customization option available for both burgers and fries. That doesn't help.
Get
me.
to the point. What is he? What do you want? AI
I thought I had pickles. Mustard patty.
mustard patty.
What?
This is why we can't trust AI. It's garbage. It's dog shit. What is?
I thought it was just they basically put Thousand Island dressing all over
It
it.
kind of seems like that's the vibe.
That's what I always thought it was. Grilled onions, collected
Uh-huh.
meat juices, hot griddle,
Hot griddle. Put the whole damn griddle on the fries.
extra pickles. Oh, they do. They
Okay,
do
so
specifically cook it in mustard.
Pickles
and they
are
put-
a part of the party.
Should we go get some? Should we go get some animal?
Let's stop the podcast and go get some animal style
All right.
fries. Some doggy
Wait,
style
here, we're gonna
fries.
shut it down. All right, so we're back. We did not go to In-N-Out.
Oh, guys, I'm so full
No,
from
I
the
gave it
doggy
away.
style. Wait, what? We were supposed to. You're supposed to yes and me.
Okay, yeah. Will you just play back what Isaac just fucking said? play back.
Oh, I'm so full from the doggy style.
You can't say that. You can't say that. That's
What?
terrible.
I can't say the doggy style filled me up. What's wrong with that?
Oh my god! People out there already think we're doing that. We're gonna get so much like fan
They're
mail.
gonna
They're
it's
like,
Pride
oh, they
Month,
said it.
Derek.
Oh, you're right.
So it's okay.
Whatever. Believe what you want
It's
to believe.
okay. So Derek, what I'm noticing on this list here of ingredients for animal style fries, there's a surprising lack of bats. Dude, hey, we're on the same page here. Getting back to the point.
Yeah, we are.
So back in the 1950s was actually when the animal style fries from In-N-Out used to have bat in the recipe, but then they decided, hey, that's a bat idea. It's me, Count Trivia, just to say that I thought that was very funny.
I used that pun in my thing,
Yeah.
in my verdict later.
Oh, did you?
But now I feel like I have to change it.
I didn't. I'm sorry. I ruined your bit. Let
That's
everybody forget.
No.
I'm
going
going to come to the camera with
It
a
wasn't-
Men in Black flash thing, and
No,
you're all going to
listen,
forget.
It wasn't funny to begin with. So like having it be a callback.
Wait, so was
now,
my bit funny?
arguably- No, but like
Well-
now that it's like a callback though, that would be funny. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's the kind of thing that you build on. Like you can make the same joke 8 times as long as it's a really shitty joke.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a really shitty joke. I can't think of any. I'm too good at making jokes.
I'm too good at so funny, so good at comedy. You know, you could probably tell
Here
you
you
a good thing or two about a comedy. Oh, okay. Derek's got a yuck 'em up joke book. Next
So I'm
to
going to
him.
read a bad joke now.
From
right.
what book exactly?
Well, it's obviously Garfield's big fat hairy joke book. Shout out to my sister Sam who gave this to me. She gave it to me for my birthday a couple years ago because
Greatest
we don't ever
gift,
shut
truly.
up about Garfield.
it's a lot of jokes, guys.
Oh, this one's actually prevalent. So I'm going to be reading this joke now.
yeah.
And then throughout the course of the episode, I will be bringing this joke back. And I promise you, by the last time I say this joke this episode, you will laugh at it.
Okay, Derek, you have to. One stipulation as to you reading this joke from the joke book and continuing to bring it back, you have to do it as Vincent Price.
Vincent Price.
We've already talked about this, but the only way to talk as him is to say his name beforehand, like he's a Pokemon.
I do that with so many different characters, though. Gilbert Godfrey!
Yeah, exactly.
Jennifer Coolidge.
No, exactly. It completely fits there.
Cage.
But I just love the thought of Vincent Price being like a Pokemon character.
Oh, absolutely.
Vincent Price, I need you to read the lines from the script, please.
Vincent Price, I choose you. Art
Vincent
of
Price.
the Bat. Hey, he was in this movie we watched. All right.
Use Wing Slash.
Vincent Price. Can cats see in the dark? Yes, but they have trouble holding the flashlight. You can't laugh yet. You can't laugh yet. That joke can't be funny until the sixth time I say it this episode. I didn't choose it. Garfield did.
You did choose it.
No, I just opened a random page and saw the word flashlight. And why would I care about the word flashlight, Isaac?
Well, because they carry flashlights in a little movie from the 1950s that has bats and Vincent Price in it, like we've been trying to get to this whole time. The Bat from 1959.
Listen, man, it's only actually been 10 minutes. We're doing pretty good right now.
Pretty good at not getting so far off the point like last episode
good right
where
now.
we came up with so many crazy antics that we could have had like 6 different titles for the episode.
I did put some in. I don't know if you noticed in the description. I did put alternate titles.
Yeah, the Sisterhood of the Traveling Dads and the Cults of the Lunar Hygienics. But I mean, father to me, doctor to some. That's my dad. R.L. Stein is pretty damn good.
I really hope everyone here goes and listens to that episode.
Please do.
How you been, man? We haven't checked up in a while.
Boy, I've been busy. Busy doing a lot of stuff. We're. It's no secret to most of you who continually listen to this podcast. We are boys who do musical theater. Scary, I know.
Pride
The scariest thing about us being the host of this podcast is that we do theater on the side. But it's made us very busy. We do a lot. I work, and then I do theater, and then I go home and sleep, and I do it all over again.
And I have a pregnant wife.
And he has a pregnant wife.
Full-time job.
Pregnant life.
Sequel cast to the show, and I have a pregnant wife.
Yep. Pregnant wife, pregnant life.
Twice.
It's so big. It covers 2 slots in the lifespan of what we do.
But we find out the gender tomorrow. Any final predictions before I know? Because the next time we sit in these chairs, I'll know if I'm having a boy or a girl.
That's crazy. My mom today said she thinks you're gonna have a boy. So I'm gonna go with my mom's statement there.
So I've been talking to the belly.
Yeah.
I've been having full conversations with the belly.
Pull it aside. Like, can you step into my office, belly?
And you know I do this.
I believe
100%
sure
that
I know
do
you're doing
bullshit.
this.
And I've said, okay,
I even thought about there's a whole new avenue for us now of things we can talk about and discuss with you being a father now.
Oh, that's terrifying. Anyway, I had a little talk and I was like, boy, I know you're a boy. And then I turned into the guy.
You doing a little bit like the devil and angel on your shoulder.
Kratos.
Did you kill the kid? What did you do?
Oh, Kratos is a great dad. Have you ever seen that? Well,
okay, but the character
my
Kratos
definition of a great dad is
murdering his
skewed.
wife and
No,
child.
hold on. My definition of great dad is skewed.
Yes.
So let me just say,
it just depends on where you meet Kratos.
if you meet him in Ragnarok,
yes, and we're talking about Kratos from the God of War games Ragnarok, the latest iteration of him, a big father figure, right?
He does a decent job.
Yes, but literally the introduction to his character in God of War 1 is.
I did forget about that. You are correct.
Not
he
a very
kills
great
his family.
father.
Well,
not his fault.
It's not like his fault.
Yeah.
But
that's a whole other podcast.
I never ever want us to talk about my future child and end the conversation talking about killing us.
Yeah, no. We're not done here. I'm just saying you're not gonna kill.
Where are we going? Oh, I pulled the belly aside. And I said,
you say boy, yeah.
And it felt right. Yeah, like the stomach actually glowed. Glowed. Yeah, you could see the placenta. It was crazy.
That's wild.
That's terrifying.
It's like in Alien Romulus where they had that cool X-ray thing.
Yeah, so we'll find out. I will be naming our child Science Jim. So, oh really? Is it the name would have to be?
I feel like that's a recipe for disaster because being the nature of Science Jim as a character we've created on this podcast, I feel like naming the child after Science Jim only gives Science Jim permission to then inhabit the body of your child.
Absolutely, and
it is unless that's what you want.
I mean. Listen, he's been swarming around in me for a while.
That's true.
Maybe give him the opportunity.
It kind of comes out. Can you imagine if there's any ounce of your child that comes through like Science Jim?
I hope not. Oh no! What?
We can really call that out. We're like, what do we do? How do we stop this? Can it be stopped?
I'm an awful person. Help!
I'm an eldritch being from hell.
All right, well, that's enough about my future spawn.
But I just wanted to say, if my mom says boy, but if I had to guess, I say bat. It's gonna be a bat.
Oh.
I saw the light of like some funny bit come into your eyes and then leave the place. It was so funny to me to see it all come to you and then die in an instant.
That is called what we call in the industry the death of the bit. where the bit comes into your brain and like a rubber bat, it leaves the room.
It just entered like through like this godlike light in your eyes.
Wait, I have a question for you, Isaac. Let's get serious here.
Yeah, so let's bring it down.
So the bat, written by Crane Wilbur,
1959,
posed a very important question,
which is:
can cats see in the dark? Yes, but they have trouble holding the flashlight.
Oh my! The thing is,
I'm gonna get a ding ding 2. That is 2 uses
already.
Of that
it's happened, and I forgot. I forgot about the first time that it had been brought up because for a second I was like, "The hell are you talking about? Cats and flashlights, Derek? You're losing your mind."
All right, so you smart folks on the internet, you're all smart, you're all beautiful, you're all wonderful.
Yeah.
You may remember that a few weeks ago we watched
that one. You're looking at me.
House of Wax.
House of Wax.
And I watched the original House of Wax, which
has
Vincent
Price in it.
I don't think I can keep saying the Garfield joke in Vincent Price's voice because to say Vincent Price gives away that I'm about to say the joke, and I want it to segue. I want you to like not expect it. You know what I mean?
Yes. That reminds me.
This is a little game we're playing. I've been watching a lot of Game Changer lately, and I feel like it's really affecting my existence and humanity.
It reminds me of this one. I think it's like a Tumblr post. Maybe it was a tweet that I saw one time, and it's like a conversation between a husband and a wife, and the husband is like, "Please, come on, you're gonna have to let me drink at the bar tonight." She's like, "No, every time you drink, you get way too drunk. You start rapping about Patrick Swayze." And then it goes into the future, and it's like me a few drinks deep. It's getting kind of hazy. So it's like
I'm singing like a Swayze.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what's gonna come. So you just saying Vincent Price out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, now we're gonna do the cat flashlight bit again.
But I can't.
But we won't. So yes, you were unburdened from having to do it as
from
Vincent
Price voice.
I just needed it for the first time. Now you are free to do it as Jennifer Coolidge next time if you want.
I'm gonna need a Garfield real bad. Okay,
my siblings one time out of nowhere asked my brother specifically because he's a twisted man. Asked me, Isaac, do an impression of Jennifer Coolidge having sex, and without hesitation, I just went into just like grunts in a Jennifer Coolidge voice. First of all, it was hilarious, but second of all, it was the craziest thing I've ever had to say. I have nowhere else to go with that beyond it was wild. I'm not going to repeat it here on the podcast. But like faster, more labored.
That's probably okay.
See, that's the point. None of you want to hear that. That's the thing. But you can think about it.
The show I'm in right now has a character who is Jennifer Coolidge played by my friend Brittany.
Yes.
Absolutely
who's phenomenal.
Incredible at it.
Kind of popular on TikTok.
Yeah,
for
she has
doing
a TikTok that has millions and millions and millions of likes of her doing like Twilight as. Look it up. Just look up Brittany TikTok.
Derek,
Jennifer Coolidge.
We should watch a horror. If there are any that exist, a horror movie that has Jennifer Coolidge in it.
Oh my god! And get her on
and
the
then get her on the podcast with us.
Wait, that's actually a fantastic idea, and she totally would.
Has Jennifer Coolidge ever set foot in a horror setting?
We're about to find out.
No, I feel like she's probably been in like a scary movie.
The Netflix series The Watcher.
The Watcher. Okay,
it's a TV show.
It's not bad. But when I say scary movie, I mean a series of scary movies, like the ones that were mocking like Scream, those ones like parody kind of ones. I feel like I've seen her in something like that, but I can't put my finger. I just can't.
She was in a movie called We Have a Ghost.
That sounds horror enough.
I think that movie was supposed to be really bad. Oh wait.
Yeah, Derek, we don't ever talk about bad movies on this podcast. We call that was horrible.
You're right.
But yeah, I think it actually
that's horror comedy. 43%.
I think this is actually a potential we should look into.
Listen, I will talk to.
Let's get in talks with Jennifer Coolidge's people.
I think that might work.
That might actually be goddamn hilarious.
And we can just have her go for an hour.
Just do her thing.
I'll be like, hey, listen, I know that you're tired. You're probably tired of people only wanting you for your Jennifer Coolidge impression. But listen, that's not the only reason. You're just a great person.
She's like, nobody likes me for my Kermit the Frog impression.
You know what's crazy? Actually, she does just do really good impressions in general.
Okay.
She went to school with my niece.
What?
Which is so strange.
That's wild.
It's so strange. Like I'm not
and
that
your
much
niece
older.
Never brought this up to you?
Well, she did actually.
Derek, Uncle Derek, you'll never believe this. At school today, I met Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh my god.
She was wildly off-putting.
The reason I brought her being being in the show though is there is a specific moment where she goes like a few times, and I'm like off stage just busting up every single time.
Oh my god.
All right, so the reason I talked about House of Wax is because in that movie, the original, not the one we watched,
Yes.
it had Vincent Price in it. And I was like, Isaac, we need more Vincent Price in our
Because
life.
he's great. We watched that. You watched and you showed me a couple clips from the original House of Wax.
And it was fun.
Which was hilarious because it was like a 3D movie and they didn't know how to utilize that. So they had a guy with paddle balls going
love
straight
the
towards the
paddle
camera.
balls.
God, it was so funny.
You absolutely
Guys,
love the paddle balls.
later that week, I came miraculously. Derek hid this from me. Did not tell me there was a paddle ball inside the house.
Maybe.
I stumbled upon it later.
There's a paddle ball inside the house.
The paddle ball's coming from inside the house. Point is, using a paddle ball is way harder than you think.
Yeah, it's super difficult.
like way harder than I thought
No,
it was. This
you
dude
can
in
hit it
House of
once,
Wax
but that's
made
it.
it look so easy.
No, dude. And then he put him in his mouth. Ugh,
Yeah, that was
crazy.
wild. Anyway, so Derek watched the original House of Wax, had Vincent Price in it, loved that. So we
I had
decided
Vincent Price on the ring.
Vincent Price has got to be there.
And so we looked up a bunch of movies that he was in that were bad.
It's hard to find a bad Vincent Price movie.
Well, so it turns out that he had like a few years where he wasn't really getting respected.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was doing these like lower budget movies that weren't getting very good reviews because
Yeah.
he was having a hard time getting work.
Well, it's kind of weird because like he did his shtick so well as like this kind of spooky, macabre, haunted house kind of guy, and it made it hard for him to get like more serious roles and things for people to like respect him in other types of genres and themes and roles. So like they didn't trust him with certain roles because they're like, no, he's going to detract from my movie because he's going to do the Vincent Price thing, right?
Yeah. And they didn't want that.
No, exactly.
They wanted Vincent Price to be different characters.
Which is funny.
But Vincent Price was like, no.
Which is funny because there are some instances where like he immediately was distrusted with that, but then actually does a kick-ass job. It's like
Yeah,
let's
exactly.
let him cook, guy,
Just
okay?
freaking
Let Price
him
cook.
And so we chose The Bat. The Bat. You ever seen that old SNL sketch?
No, what's that?
Bears.
Yeah.
Bears.
The Bat.
Classic. So Rotten Tomatoes is sitting at a 17. The audience is sitting at a 43. Letterboxd is at a 3.1, and IMDb is at a 6.1. The Bat was made in 1959 for a budget of an unknown amount. I cannot find the answer for you.
Ooh, spooky, mysterious number.
The fact that I can't find the budget is scarier than the entire movie.
That's true. That's the scariest thing about it. Because it does say, if you go and look it up on Google, top result, it says horror mystery. So we're like, okay, this checks our boxes. It's a bad Vincent Price movie. It's
a bad Vincent Price movie.
It's a bad Vincent Price movie. It's got a low enough rating for us to watch for the podcast. It seems to check all the boxes.
So it actually was an adaptation of a 3-act play by Mary Roberts Reinhardt and Avery Hopwood that was produced by the Lincoln Wagenhals and Colin Kepler in 1920.
What the fuck did you just say? One more time, please. That was the craziest but best thing I've ever heard. The Lincoln Wagenhals. What?
Well, I added a "the" in there for theatrical effect. That was first produced by Lincoln Wagenhals and Colin Kemper in 1920.
Lincoln Wagenhals and
That
Colin
rolls.
Kemper.
That
That's
rolls.
God, that feels so good. All of you at
Lincoln
home.
Wagenhals. Here, we'll give you a second. Everybody just pause real quick. So you're going to say Lincoln Wagenhals.
Wagenhals. It's just the craziest. But to put Lincoln in front of it.
Wagenhals.
Lincoln
You got to do it in a little bit of an
Wagenhals.
accent. Lincoln Wagenhals.
It's so good.
And
Maybe
Colin Kemper.
Maybe I'm just so tired, but this is goddamn entertaining to me.
Lincoln
And Colin
Wagenhals.
Kemper, Lincoln Wagenhals, and Colin Kemper
There's
presents
another one. The story combines elements of mystery and comedy as Cornelia Van Gorder. That's just a character from the movie.
This is not real. This is pure vaudeville and nonsense, and
Yeah,
I love it.
absolutely.
Lincoln
Wagenhall. So I originally, when I read about this, I read that it failed miserably.
No,
but
it had a very long
it
run
actually,
on Broadway,
it
right?
ran on Broadway. Yeah, in New York, it had 867 performances, and in New York, it had 327 performances.
Oh, I thought when we were talking off camera,
Yeah.
you told me it had like 23 performances.
And it did when it was revived. So it had a revival years later that did not actually do as well. It had only had 23 performances.
Okay,
so
this
that's where I
makes-
was confused.
This makes a bit more sense because there's a bit in the trivia we'll come across later that talks about the play, and I was like, that can't be that good if it only had like 23 performances.
I don't understand. Is Richard... Okay, so Richard. There's a character in this movie named Richard.
God,
and
Richard's
it
just-
gets shortened to
just a
Dick.
name.
And I do not understand. I'm mad about it. I'm mad about the fact...
Never have I understood why Richard gets shortened to Dick. Like, how does this happen?
It makes me mad.
No, it pisses
Is
me
it
off.
because Richard?
Richard?
Rick hard? Rick's hard.
Rick's
like
hard.
a dick.
Like a penis.
No, you
like
gross
a
ass
dick. Yeah, we
motherfucker.
can't Look it up. Why is Richard shortened to Dick? I just have to know.
I don't know. Say that funny thing from earlier.
Say that funny thing from Lincoln Wagenhall and Colin Kemper present,
Why is Richard shortened to Dick? All right, the AI overview.
which is so trustworthy.
All the time. You should get all your information from it.
Oh, no.
Dick is the historical shortening of the name Richard. This occurred due to rhyming nicknames becoming popular in the Middle Ages.
Still
While
doesn't
Rick
track.
is also a common shortening of Richard, Dick arose,
Wait.
giggity, from rhyming variations of Rick, like Hick.
So
over time.
hold on. So it goes from Richard to Rick, then to Dick.
Yeah.
Still doesn't make that much sense.
Oh, look who's coming home from war. It's my Rick Dick. Come over here, Ricky Dicky.
And that's Ricky Dicky. Oh, who's that next to him? It's Lincoln Wagenhall. Colin Kemper.
These two maidens from the 30s waiting for their men to come home from war.
It's
I
killing
need
me
my
so
Richie,
much.
Ricky Dicky.
Lincoln
What about
Wagenhall
Lincoln
is my favorite thing of the day.
Kirby. I can't even do it.
No, Piggy. And now our very special guest,
Lincoln
Wagenhall.
It's so stupid.
It's the Muppet Show with Lincoln Wagenhall.
And our guest, Lincoln Wagenhall.
Derek, I've lost it. I've lost the plot. I'm too
Well,
deep in Lincoln Wagenhall.
Arguably, what we've talked about has more of a plot than The Bat from 1959. So anyway, it was a play.
Don't call Richard Dick, guys. It's a stupid name.
So it actually says here that cats can see in the dark, but they have trouble holding the flashlight.
You son of a bitch.
And we're going to mark that down as 3.
Can't put it on the counter.
What?
The tracker for how many you've done.
I've done it. I'm
now.
doing it. I've got a little.
That's what your side quest is?
Yeah.
Derek has mysteriously opened like a little side tab on his computer that he wants to keep from me. I'm like, what's going on over there? It's just for him to say stupid joke.
No, it's a great joke.
Oh,
That
so
by the end of this
Lincoln,
will
tell
be
me about your
hilarious.
Wagenhall.
Sits down with his friend. It's been a while, man. How you doing?
That's good. My Wagenhall's
It's doing all right.
it's got a bad Kemper.
What about your
It's temperamental.
What about your Ricky Dicky?
Oh,
All right. Well, that was fun.
you know that the actor that played Robin, and I want to say the Adam West version of Batman, which is it's
Adam
connected because it's the Bat.
West.
His name was Dick Ward. That's just the craziest name. Just call him Richard, please, God. I just wanted to talk about that because it's the Bat. The Bat
Dick Ward.
that was back in those days, but this is the Bat from 1959.
Dick Ward.
What else do we have to say about it?
Dick Ward.
I can say Lincoln Wagenhall again.
So, I'm sorry. I did actually know about Dick Ward. I got distracted.
No, you're good. You're good.
Do you want to talk about Dick Ward more?
No, I'm good. I'm clean. I'm like my conscience is clean.
All right. So, fast forwarding over to The Bat, where Mary Roberts Reinhardt, she obviously is credited with writing the movie, even though she just wrote the play.
Yes.
She also wrote a movie called The Bat Whispers, and I don't know if they're related, but it was. Oh, okay. No. The Bat Whispers is another adaptation of the same play.
Yes, there are actually a couple different adaptations of this original play from Lincoln Wagenhall and Colin Kemper.
Which is insane to me because honestly, it was not that riveting. And like the play itself, like the synopsis, like if you just read the synopsis, is not that enticing.
That is what kind of gets me, because there are so many adaptations of it. You would imagine the source material has got a pretty solid foundation to go off of, but it doesn't sound like it actually does.
So do you think that there's a bootleg of the original Broadway?
Yeah, yeah, but it's actually a series of still images, and if you flip through them,
It's like a flip book?
It's a flip book.
But it's like someone from
Lincoln
the
Wagenhall and Colin Kemper present The Bat in flip book.
Wait, who's that standing behind Lincoln Wagenhall? Is that James Earl Booth?
You're son of a bitch.
No, I don't know. That was pretty good.
That's
That was pretty good.
That's good. No, I love it.
It was a little dark
Yeah, dark. Went dark places there,
because he
Derek.
died.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's why it's dark,
Actually,
Derek.
all 4 people died.
Everyone in this bit is dead.
I will die one day. Well,
let's create an improv comedy show that's called Everyone in This Bit is Dead, and we just constantly riff on like dead funny people. I don't know.
You can include me. Whoa, that was horrible.
So there has to be like a window with this improv troupe where it's like, okay, comedian, what the fuck's his name? Gilbert Gottfried died. How long do we have before we can start doing Gottfried bits?
Wait, can we call it Commedia Dell'morte?
Oh, that kicks ass. Wait a minute. That's good.
I thought it was
That's like the name of a whole other podcast we have to start now.
I think we do. I'm going to write that down.
Commedia Dell'morte is actually kick ass. I love that shit.
Dell'morte. Comedy of the Dead, right? Isn't that what that means?
Yes, that's great. That's perfect. Perfect.
I bet it already exists.
Oh, come on. It's
Dell'morte.
Honestly, we did the same thing when we came up with a pun for that was horrible. We're like, has anybody done this yet? Are we original? Is there anything?
It is a term that can I mean, there are things that have used it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a podcast.
But
we should not start another
No, we're not
we
going
don't
to
have time.
another
We don't start another podcast.
We can start a podcast within our podcast. Be like, hello, welcome to Commedia Dell'morte, where we talk about dead funny people. I still don't know what it's actually about.
But we do it completely straight. And
that's the bit.
We will be talking about Samuel L. Jackson in 40 years after he has passed.
And here we are ready. 40 years. You just if he dies in 40 years, it's your fault.
Shit.
And then that's what we'll talk about. Lincoln Wagon.
So Abraham Lincoln.
You can't let me just keep
was
saying that.
Killed by
James Earl Booth.
That's so fucked. Okay. Well, this has been fun.
Lincoln,
so
am
actually,
your father.
Funnily enough, the play is actually based off of a novel. So you've got like this crazy. Are you okay?
Yeah, you just let me do a bit of Darth Vader killing Lincoln and just kept going.
I didn't notice. I was reading a novel. I was reading a whole
You'll
book.
listen back later. You'll hear.
That's the kind of bit that it's like a husband and wife laying in bed, and the husband's like doing something kick ass, like gymnastics or something, and the wife is she has her contacts out, and she's reading a book, and he's like doing freaking tricks on his like tech deck skateboard. He's like, "Honey, did you see what I just did?" She's like,
"Is
all
that
right,
what you're doing late at night with your pregnant wife doing gymnastics in the bed?"
You don't need to know. And then I hold up my own sign that says 10.
You turn to her, it's like, how did I do? Please say 10.
But then I keep myself humble. I always hold up a sign with like a 9.5.
Okay. You're humble, but not like that far down. You're not like a 7.
No, but I keep myself straight.
You're like, I'm still pretty great.
I grew up Mormon. I keep myself straight.
Tell me more about the...
That was a good joke.
Tell me
that was a good joke.
The bat.
Oh, my God. So as I just found out, as you assassinated Abraham Lincoln as James Earl Jones, this was actually
crazy.
It was that is easily one of the crazier things I've said on this podcast. I feel like we need to like take a breath.
Yeah, let's everybody.
I think there's a lot of noise.
Breath.
There's a lot of noise in the
breath.
last 20 minutes.
That's most of what our podcast is. You reviewers say a lot of noise, just a lot of
like I laugh a lot.
And noise.
So there was a book, a mystery novel by it was written by Mary Roberts Reinhardt, called The Circular Staircase, which she then adapted into a play called later on in life called The Bat, which she then adapted into a movie called The Bat Sightings or whatever, and then she reduced Whispers, and then was adapted again into The Bat
with Vincent Price,
and The Bat is what we watched this time.
Not to be confused with The Cat, which is a movie about a bunch of cats struggling to hold flashlights for the most part, but they can see very well. Did that work?
No,
can I get a point? Do I get a point?
I'll add one. I'm a little mad you took it from me though.
I have to take the power from you.
That was pretty good. I'm sitting on this couch. I took your power.
When you're sitting on the couch, I took your power.
That's a reference to the 2025 film The Monkey.
Which is great. Not to be confused with The Bat from 1959.
Yeah, I wish there was more to talk about this movie in general, not just... But we'll get over that in a second. We'll get into that.
We'll get over that.
As far as the director of this movie, Crane Wilbur, goes, I mean, listen,
It's another name I feel like you could say like Vincent Price. Crane Wilbur.
I've got a problem. I craned my neck, Wilbur. No.
I've done it again.
That was
Vincent,
dumb.
I've craned my neck again.
He did write
Wilbur.
the screenplay for the original House of Wax, though, which is interesting.
Oh, neat.
This was
There's
the
a bit
second
of
to
a
last
connection.
film he directed.
Yeah, really kind of took a swing and a miss. He's like, maybe one more time. Nope. All right, I've truly lost it.
I mean, his next one is rated the exact same.
Oh,
Inside
really?
the walls of Folsom Prison.
Sounds like a fun
Escape
romp.
attempts and riots are at the rise due to an old-school sadistic style of management and a brutal warden.
Sounds super interesting.
I feel like that guy
Captivating.
really wanted to be the next Great Escape and couldn't do it.
Yeah, he wanted to be a lot, and unfortunately, he didn't make it there, Crane, and that's okay. None of us are mad at you for that. Well, I'm a little mad, but that's beside the point.
Should we read some Rotten Tomatoes reviews?
We can read some Rotten Tomatoes reviews. You start us out, though, because I definitely did not pull that up, and now I have to go and turn off ad block on Rotten Tomatoes because it hates me.
That's actually really embarrassing. So there's only actually 6 critic reviews for this movie, but it is sitting at a 17%. So this first review from Ken Hankey, botched version of the famous play. Stick with the 1926 and 1930 version.
Jeffrey M. Anderson from Combustible Celluloid, that's a crazy name, says the movie is extremely talky and stagey and it has a flat, scrubbed look, evenly lit and little use of shadows or contrast. Even though it's a murder story, it's pretty dull.
Nicholas Bell says, cats can see in the dark. Yes, but they have trouble holding the flashlight.
God damn it! You're so good at being convincing.
For a second, you were so ready to move on.
I was so there. I was like, all right, cool, good review. Until the very tail end of that, you piece of shit.
Nicholas Bell's real review. The bat is generally a pleasurably Okay, we're going to start over.
Yeah.
Nicholas Bell from Ion Cinema with a score of 2.5 says the bat is generally a pleasurably mystery cheapie. That is a tongue twister, Nicholas. It's his
Pleasurably
bald head.
mystery cheapie. God, that is hard.
Generally a pleasurably mystery cheapie. Though with a narrative
That's
that
what they
seems
say
to
about
cut
me.
corners and conveniently shut up and conveniently withhold information for its pat resolution. That review made no sense, Nicholas.
No, that was just a lot of noise, just a lot of words.
Why was he talking about a cat?
I have no idea. But Bat Brunson from Film Frenzy, just kidding, it's Matt Brunson.
It would have been better if you said Bat Munson.
Bat Munson. Bat
'Cause
Munson.
Then you just replace the
Yeah,
letters.
that's fair. That's fair. He says, what it lacks in smart scripting, it makes up for in smart casting. Which I would say, I would not agree with that across the board. I would say the one casting of Vincent Price is the smart casting.
I mean, some of the other people were notably well known.
I guess
mean,
that's fair.
Agnes Moorehead, from that one movie she was in, and John Sutton from that movie he was in. Agnes Moorehead is actually Mary Kane in Citizen Kane and played in Dora in Bewitched. I knew she looked familiar, and
Yeah.
now I understand why.
Now it's all-
she
it's all
also
coming
played
together.
the goose in Charlotte's Web.
Interesting.
That you weren't as excited as I expected.
Oh, sorry. Charlotte's Web? Fuck. Spiders?
Hey, I don't know what this is, but she was in a TV movie that was 3 hours long called Frankenstein: The True Story.
True story?
And I want to watch it.
Excuse me?
She played the creature. No, I'm just kidding. She played, I don't know. Her name's not on here anymore.
Oh, all right. Well,
She played somebody. John Sutton, though, he was in Jane Eyre. He was in The Three Musketeers. He was in The Fan. He was in The Invisible Man Returns.
all greats.
Just like old movies. Just like movies that are like over the age of 50.
That's true. Yeah, a lot of actors you would see on random episodes of like The Twilight Zone. I feel like that's a very
Twilight Zone.
common thread. I'll go back and like watch older movies. I'm like, hey, I saw you in an episode of The Twilight Zone. I'm like, this is probably why you're in that. I bet. But that's our Rotten Tomatoes reviews.
I'm scared to get into this movie.
Why are you, Derek? Why are you scared?
Bats scare me.
I don't think this movie scared you very much.
No.
But listen, what about plastic bats? They're not
Yeah.
that scary.
But here's the thing. Plastic bats can see in the dark. They just have trouble holding the flashlight.
I think a plastic bat could hold a
I
flashlight.
feel like the joke's getting less funny. I feel like at this point, it's actually degrading.
It's
in
less.
comedy.
It's less the joke getting funnier. It's the means of conveying it. Like
Yes.
your convincing Rotten Tomatoes review, very, very good, very funny.
The one where I said bat, not as good.
No, not quite as good. But that's
It was
okay, we'll
also
get
too
there.
soon. It was all
Yeah.
too soon after it. I have said it 6 times now, including year one.
Goddamn,
So we've said it 5 plus 1. So it has been said 6 times.
we're getting a lot there. But
How many
think
did I say?
The biggest
Did I say
6.
8?
You said 6. 5 plus 1.
No, total.
Oh, total.
Earlier, I said there was a number.
Oh,
We're
I
gonna
have
say
no idea. We'll say 8. Pretend it was 8.
That means I have 2 more times.
I think the biggest issue with it is the fact that I'm coming to expect it now. You know,
This is true.
Like we usually have expectations before this movie. Shall we discuss?
My first expectation, the cat. No, I'm just kidding.
Going in, generally, what I was expecting from this movie was to be. I thought we were gonna have one of those like, oh, it's so bad, it's like laughable, so like it'll be enjoyable for that. Like, oh, how corny from the 50s, it hasn't dated very well, you know. So I think we're in for a good time where the vibes are kind of there. Vincent Price is great, but the rest of it will be kind of just meh.
Yeah. I mean, my general expectation was literally just, I'll be bored.
I'll be bored. That
be
makes
bored.
sense. My first formal expectation said, the price is right with Vincent Price. And that's just to say, he's going to be great, as he always is. I have no doubt in the man, no matter what script is given to him.
My first expectation is mostly dialogue. These movies tend to just really thrive and build on the dialogue, which is something I do feel like modern movies are missing, which is why I think that Heretic worked so well, because it really delved into the dialogue. But to that extent, I do feel like older movies like this relied too much on the dialogue.
I feel like there's a balancing act there. I also think it was something that really came to pass when it was like a transition of a lot of like, especially plays being adapted into screenplays and films and stuff, that they don't do great at remembering and like utilizing the the capabilities of like, this is a movie, this is film, we can do different things you could not do on a stage, you know, in a stage
And I still
play.
feel like that happens.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, Wicked is a great example of the way to do it right.
Yeah.
Right, where they understood their medium and they went with it.
Which I love. I love when, to talk on movie musicals for a second, I love when they do such a good job at like not trying to completely erase the fact that it was a stage musical, but kind of take the best parts of that and then also use the best parts of like what they can do now with what is capable in movies. You know what I thought did a really good job to, again, talk about a completely different genre than we normally do, talk about movie musicals. Matilda, the latest adaptation of that, did so good at feeling like it was a cool, fun, quirky stage musical that they then put on its feet in a film setting and like did new fun things with that too.
I completely agree.
Because there are some bad ones where it's like, wow, yeah, they really just kind of lost the plot. What are we doing here? Cats. What? Are there any flashlights in that one, Derek?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. I said my next expectation was I will love the vibes, but nothing else will play. I was really expecting just enjoy it purely based on the vibes alone, and nothing else would really work for me.
Yeah. Just packed of 60s stereotypes. Like 50s and 60s stereotypes, you know, like the, my wife, women can't do anything,
So like
women's
sexism,
pass out.
racism,
Yeah, literally everything.
misogyny, all of the above.
I just felt
all
like
the bad things when people are like, I was born in the wrong generation. I really wish I was born in the 50s.
I wish I was born in the 50s.
It's like, yeah, you wanted
on
to
the railway. I don't know.
work on the railway.
I'm working on the railway. Is that what people say?
Yeah, that's it. That's how the
railway.
song goose. My next expectation, I said, could have a killer remake these days. I was like, what if we take the bat today, 2025, we remount it, either as a play or a movie.
I mean, we'll talk about it during our later bit, but I like that expectation a lot.
Yeah.
That was a good Isaac. Hey, we've been doing 90 episodes of this bad boy. That was a really good expectation.
90 episodes deep, I'm getting there. I'm starting to get better.
A lack of any believable twist. I mean, one of the things, like on the posters, even for this movie, it was like, "Who's the killer? What's the twist?"
Yeah, Derek pointed that out. There's actually a pretty kick-ass like artistic rendition of the poster, like a more modern take on it, where it's got the silhouette of the bat as like the killer of the movie, and it has 3 different men's faces kind of imposed within it. It looks
like
really
the
cool.
3 that are supposed to be.
Yes, like the 3, all of like red herring kind of style characters. It looks really good. It's a cool design on the poster, but then it's got this one quote on it that just says like, which of these men is the killer?
It literally just says that.
It's like, that's not a good tagline. You know what's got a great tagline is the new Frankenstein movie from 2025 that says only monsters play God or something like that.
Really
It
good.
kicks ass.
Which one of these men is the killer known as the Bat?
The Bat. Yeah, it's just it doesn't roll really. It doesn't roll that
The poster
well.
kicks ass though. So
It's a great poster.
You'd think they would get something right.
No.
What is it? What is the actual tagline for this movie though? I didn't write it down.
Is that not that? I mean,
No.
it's on the poster.
No, there's the other one though. That was like the no. When it flies, someone dies.
That's right. They really give you the vibe that there's going to be a lot more use of flying bats in this movie. Like,
oh my God,
there's some kind of supernatural aspect to it.
The movie, that was the original movie poster, the one that says, because I mean, any movie poster that has crazy boobs on it is the original movie poster.
When it flies, someone
when it
dies.
flies, somebody dies. The bat from the hits Broadway stage smash hit Mary Reinhardt's masterpiece of Shock.
Yes.
And then there's a little stamp on it that says, "Warning: keep the secret. Anyone who reveals who I am will have to answer to the bat."
Ooh, okay. I like that kind of coming outside of the movie. The
I like that meta.
Yeah.
I like that meta, the meta nature of that advertisement. I just wish that it lived up to its
absolutely. My next expectation said just the corniest effects in a positive way, because there was a shot from the trailer that we watched beforehand that's just like, as Derek has mentioned a few times now, this like plastic little bat flying around, and it didn't look great. And so I was like, I think that'll be charming and funny. It won't necessarily be good, but that's not why we're here.
Absolutely.
And so I thought we were going to see more to that effect, really corny effects.
And then you said this one earlier, but Vincent Price will absolutely be the best thing about
Price
the movie.
is right. And then my last expectation is just the Batman wishes he could be the Bat. And that was honestly just me running out of things to expect from this movie.
Oh, I also ran out of expectations. Do you want to know my last
Yeah, what's your last
expectation?
one?
Garfield won't actually be in this movie.
Oh, my God.
Because you'll remember, you keen listeners... if you go back...
Lincoln Hall?
Oh, my God. If you go back a few episodes, I got stuck on the fact that the bat sounded like the Bat. Because in the video game...
Bat?
No. Well, yeah, Matt Berry. But also, in the video game Batman Arkham City, whenever you're running around as Batman, there's always these people that are like, "It's the Bat! Oh, it's the Bat!
It's the Bat!
It's the Bat!" So I just wouldn't shut up about in Gotham.
He just kind of went crazy about it being in Gotham. And there's no Riddler, there's no Scarecrow, there's no Mr. Where's all the people? None of them were in here. More than anything than like that.
All the DC people.
More than that, no Garfield. Because then at the end of that
Copyright.
episode, Derek made a big point about the fact that Garfield was going to die in Gotham in the Bat 1959. And a surprising lack of that, honestly.
A surprising lack of that in the Bat.
So I guess that's all
a
our
fact.
expectations. Is it time?
Yeah.
Is it time to delve into the Bat? Derek, you don't sound too excited to get into this.
So
this mess.
I love black and white films. I think that they're look
fun.
gorgeous. There's some really fun things that they do with shadows and all that stuff.
I think even at their worst, they look a lot better than some things we get today.
I 100% agree with that.
Which I would say is kind of the case for this movie.
But my favorite thing about it is the music that they play, because it's so
Always.
different.
Yes.
They had a guy sitting there orchestrating every move and every single sound that you hear, and it's great. You don't really get that anymore.
It's
Music
much more
soundtracks
over the top. I feel like music soundtracks have been getting a bit more subtle in a lot of more recent
which
movies.
it does work, and that's not to downplay music soundtracks of the day.
No,
like
of
there
course,
are
there's some
still
great stuff still
fantastic-
coming out. You kidding me?
It's a video game, but the Claire Obscure soundtrack, if any of you have listened to that, one of the greatest soundtracks in history. Also, the Mario Kart World soundtrack,
Incredible.
Holy
Not to mention
shit.
the upcoming the DK Bonanza game that's coming out.
Yes.
The new renditions of like old Donkey Kong songs
Yeah.
are great.
So good.
There's good stuff coming out.
That's all video games.
Yeah.
My point is, there was something different about movies back then because they had so much to lean on when it came to the music. And I feel like we really just don't get that vibe anymore.
I also just feel like they went bigger on lesser projects a lot of the time, because I feel like these days you still get big grand scores for big epic movies. You know, those still very much exist. But I feel like this one, which is like kind of got a little bit of like a film noir detective mystery movie vibe to it, still has these big booming big band vibes to it in the music.
Big booming big band.
Big boom and big band. But like movies these days would not use soundtracks like that. They would stay more subtle and chill.
The 4Bs of music from the 1950s.
It's all
boom and big band.
Big boom and big band. It's great. It's
Bernard's
all good.
Big Boom and Big Band.
I like that. And the boys. With the boys.
Bernard's Boys Big Boom and Big Band.
That's great. Okay, I love that. You want to keep going?
Yeah. Bernard's Blastin' Boys Big Boom and Big Band. Bernard's Blastin' Boys Big Boom and Big Band. I need more adjectives.
This is good.
Bernard. Wait. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bernard.
Brian Bernard.
Yeah. Thank you. I was trying to think of a last name. Brian Bernard Big. Brian Bernard's Boys Blastin' Big Boom and Big Band.
My God, this is. I don't know. How you can keep this all up in your noggin. I've already lost the plot.
Brandishing Brian Bernard's Big Boys.
Big
Big
boys.
boys.
Big boys,
boom.
big boom and blasting big band.
Oh my God. Baker.
Listeners at home, you're witnessing a stroke in real time.
So hard.
The thought,
it's
the concentration
so
on
hard.
your face right now.
I've already lost it. Okay, wait, hold on. So we got big. I just got to make it to 10.
Yeah.
So we. It's big.
Brian.
Bigot Brian's.
Oh, he's a bigot
Baker. No, Baker Bigot's Baker Bigot Brian Bernard's boys. Blasting big bad.
Shoot, see, I've lost them already.
Ah!
It's gone. They're recorded somewhere in there. We'll go back and listen to them later. We'll find it.
That was a whole lot of B.
The music.
Way to be.
Way to be. Like a cat fighting its way in the dark.
Shut your fucking mouth.
The music is a standout immediately. I literally, my very first note of the movie says, calling it now, the music is the best paid actor in the movie.
Really? Because my first note of the movie was the doctor told me that ghosts were allergic. No, the doctor told me that the ghosts were. I can't even say it how they said it in the movie.
They said it's so strange.
My spiritualist told me that ghosts were allergic.
Yes, to me. And that kind of just goes nowhere. There's several characters in here that are so nothing to them that we mistook them for other characters several times.
Multiple times. I still, with the exception of the 2 old women and the 2 young women, even though I did mix them up multiple times.
It happened.
But now I could pull them out of a crowd. But Vincent Price's character, and then you have the 3 other men, right?
Yes, I think so.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
The only reason I could distinguish them is because one of them is Vincent Price.
Yes.
It's literally the only reason.
He stands out, obviously. It's Vincent Price and the rest of them. Yeah. Vincent Price and the gang, you know?
Vincent Price's big blasting big boys.
Now you have to do a whole new thing, but with V's.
Vincent's voracious, voluptuous vagabonds.
Volatile vagabonds.
Vincent's voracious, voluptuous, volatile vagabonds.
Okay, that's good. I like it there. That's a good one. But yeah, people just they blend into the background like wallpaper. There's nothing incredibly captivating about most of these people.
I genuinely think they would have been more interesting
as wallpaper. Absolutely. Yes, they would. It is not relevant even in the slightest. I kind of forgot I made this note, but I wrote it down here and we have to talk about this. How did people used to clean dishes? What was the standard for cleaning dishes in the 1950s?
I forgot. You took a note about that?
Yeah, because it was wild to me. The very first time we see Vincent Price's character, he's having a conversation with one dude, and in the middle of the conversation, I guess they went on a little bit of a hunting trip together, so they're in the cabin afterwards, just kind of chatting with each other. Amidst this conversation, Vincent Price has got a cute little apron around his waist, and he has this tea kettle pot in his hand, there's boiling water in it, and he goes over to a rack of dishes and just kind of lightly drizzles this hot boiling water over the dishes.
I did scream at the TV when this happened.
You got mad. Come on, but be with me here. It was weird.
So my brain is so brain rotted from life. Musical theater.
Yeah.
That when I looked up how are dishes done in the 1950s, it says primarily done by hand using a 2-basin or 2-tub system.
Yeah.
And so I immediately went to Hamilton, where it's he made the primarily by hand 2-basin 2-tub system instead of the 2-party system. Yes. I didn't say the right rhythm.
No. But I get the vibe. If you're a theater kid, you know. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. And I'm so sorry for that.
But so nothing about this is just dump a bunch of hot water over them.
I think what we're meant to take from this is part of my
lesson to learn today.
Vincent Price isn't a woman.
Okay.
And back in the day, only women could wash dishes.
So you're telling me that the sexism, the misogyny...
I don't know how to wash dishes.
The misogyny was so deep they could not show a man competently washing the dishes.
Does this ever happen to you? You're trying to wash dishes because your wife left?
Because they didn't want audiences to go home. A wife goes to see this movie. She goes, husband of mine, I watched this movie, and Vincent Price,
This handsome
man with a mustache like you, washed those dishes quite well, and I think you could probably stand to learn a thing or two from him. Off to do the dishes with you. Chop, chop.
Yeah, so actually in the first take of the film, they had him competently washing using a 2-basin system.
A 2-basin system.
And they're like,
Washing
no.
those dishes using a 2-basin system.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah,
you
I
get
get
me.
you.
And
Now I see where the flow went.
Yeah, you got it. It's so stupid.
God, we lost the plot.
It's the most niche bullshit.
Yes.
Anyway, no, it's like, yeah. The script supervisors watching
I feel
the
like
film.
our side podcast has to be us beating a joke to death so bad, and that's why it's Commedia Dell'morte.
That's pretty good.
That's like beating a dead horse is basically the premise of that.
Anyway, the script supervisor's watching this, watching Vincent Price clean the dishes.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, stop. We have to recut that because
Stop!
can't see
Stop,
in the
it
dark
is me.
because they can't hold onto their flashlight.
It's me, Crane Wilbur. You must not. Fuck you, your flashlights. God damn it.
I broke the bit.
Stop with the dishes now, I say.
I broke the
bit. Commedia Dell'morte. It's dead. The
Oh
joke
my god,
is dead.
that is so good.
It's good. I'm sorry. I like it so much.
It's so good. It
I
sounds
need to
good.
go trademark it. It feels good to say, just like Lincoln Wakenhall and Colin Kemper.
Commedia Dell'morte, starring Lincoln Wakenhall and
Colin Kemper. So Vincent Price is in this movie. He kills a guy. He does. Okay.
Oh wait, yeah, I forgot
about this bit. He does kill a guy.
This is why we take notes. This is literally it.
So, first of all, I did write a note that just says Vincent Price's voice will always be incredible because it is. No matter what he says, he can do no wrong. He could read me the phone book and I would be completely content in this. But so, to give you a little bit about what's going on in the plot of this movie thus far, we've got this woman who is a mystery novel writer who is renting this house from this one guy who like either works at or owns the bank. I didn't really understand that bit of it.
You only see that man once.
Yeah, you see him
at the end of the movie.
Truly once. So that's what you understand that this woman is staying in this house, right? That's enough of that for now.
Yeah.
Then you come to Vincent Price, who's on a hunting trip with this one dude who just completely confesses to him because Vincent Price is his doctor. He's like the town doctor, I guess. Everybody turns to him. Dr. Wells. He's Dr. Wells. That's his name. I remembered. That's off the top. I didn't even have to
remember
look at a
that
note.
pretty well.
Ah, thank you. So Vincent Price is a doctor. He's got this guy who's on his hunting trip with him, completely confesses to him that he has stolen security bonds in like $1 million. $1 million worth of security bonds.
All you need to know is it's $1 million that's been stolen.
And he's bragging about how clever that is because he's like, what you see here is I didn't just steal $1 million.
See?
I stole... I'm just now remembering there was a time in our lives where Derek was weirdly in like this weird shtick gag bit where he would talk like that and twiddle a little cigar.
It's the Corona. I was doing it before it was popularized by Tim Robinson. I was always crooning. I was
Why
always
you were
doing
so
it.
hooked on that? It was
I loved it.
It was probably in a show that you were in at
It was
point.
absolutely. Done by a man I respect very much.
Anyway, point is, Vincent Price with this dude, he confesses to him that he's stolen $1 million worth of security bonds that he will then, like, he's hidden away somewhere and he's going to sell it all.
And it's still not enough money to make me like my wife.
Terrible.
You put me back in the character.
I put you back. I've reactivated your sleeper agent by putting the cigar next to your mouth.
It's that shitty 60s man. It's like, I can't wash dishes. Well, at least I can't let her see it.
It's a very Groucho Marx kind of
Yeah, it's Marx.
But so
not Karl Marx.
Vincent Price, no. Very, very different vibes. These two,
but they both
brothers.
still talk like
they
this.
Still did
Communism is key.
That's why it's so important to read the Communist Manifesto rather than listen to it. Nobody would take him seriously.
Should I read a section of the Communist Manifesto in that voice?
Manifesto. You look up the Communist Manifesto while I tell the rest of this bit. So Vincent Price is like, I'm not your lawyer. I'm your doctor. Why are you telling me this bit?
Why do I feel like I'm going to get murdered?
I don't know. Something bad might happen if we do this bit. But so the guy confesses to him that he's stolen all this stuff, and he's basically like, you need to help me out by this and not like rat on me, otherwise I'm going to kill you. So then I don't know how this fire starts. I don't know if Vincent Price started this fire, if it was truly an accident, but suddenly like the forest and the cabin itself start to catch fire, and Vincent Price takes his hunting rifle off the wall and kills the dude, being like, you see, now I'm going to take your stolen bonds and I'm going to be the millionaire. Cha-cha-cha.
And then he was like, officer, I don't know what happened. The fire had a gun. Help.
Yeah, that's another thing is like they were able to get the body and bury it, even though it is stated in the police report he died in the fire. So it's like, okay, so they were able to recover the body. You don't think the coroner at all saw that there was a bullet hole in this man? Like, I don't understand. The officer, I don't know. The bullets just jumped out at him when the fire started. They were like popcorn, just popping all over the place. I don't know.
The lower middle class, the small manufacturer, the shopkeeper, the artisan, the peasant, all these fight against the bourgeoisie to save from the extinction of their existence as fractions of the middle class. They are not, therefore, revolutionary, but conservative. Nay, more, they're reactionary, for they try to roll back to the appeal of industry. By, if chance, they are revolutionary.
Lincoln Wagon Hall and Colin Kemper present the Communist Manifesto, read by Groucho Marx.
And it's like one of the... It's like one of those crazy organs with the things you pull on that go.
It's got those crazy sounds. It's like a million sound effects in one big organ.
This next part actually sounds like it would be funny. If by chance they are revolutionary, they are only so in view of their impending transfer to the proletariat. Thus, they defend not their peasant, but their future interests. They desert their own standpoint to place themselves at the proletariat. That was fun.
That's great.
This is fun.
The
dangerous class,
more like the proletariat.
More like the social scum.
Oh,
that one's
so taboo. That's real. That's in there.
I did. Well, it didn't say more like. I just added more like.
A little bit of, just
you
like
gotta add
for
the
comedy's
marks.
sake.
You gotta add the marks to the marks,
You gotta have some fun,
just
kind
so
of
you can put
marks.
it in a list and marks it off.
This is terrible. So there's a lot of money at stake in The Bat from 1959. That's basically the most important thing.
Hey,
also,
FBI, if you're listening to this, please don't take
no, but the FBI are going to come for you for reading the Communist Manifesto. So, back to the movie. On the side of this, even before any money is introduced to the plot, there are conversations about the fact that there are murders going on around the area, predominantly to women, by this mysterious man named The Bat.
The Bat!
And all that is really known about him is he's just a man who dresses in dark clothes. Nobody knows what his face looks like. It's covered up. And he's like ripping the throats out of women too. That's another crazy thing. We never see that.
We never say it. I also don't think it was ever said.
It was on the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, we read it, but I don't think it was ever said.
It just is not explicitly, it never goes into that gory detail because it's 1959.
I really think that the only time it alludes to it before we see something that is also alluding to it is someone like grabs their throat when talking about one of the deaths, but that's really it.
Yeah. There's one kill that technically it does have they get killed by being slashed in the throat, but it doesn't. We don't see it. It is kind of cool though because it's an effect where he gets like put away into like this like hidden closet, and when they open up the closet to find his dead body in there's like a shadow line across his neck. Yeah. So it like kind of hides the fact that he was slashed across the neck, which is kind of a cool effect. But then it's funny, literally 7 seconds later, they're lying his dead body on the floor and his neck is completely clean. Completely fine.
And they're like, look at the scratch marks on his neck.
God, look, his throat's been slashed. How terrible.
His neck's been slashed. What's my ex-wife?
This movie would benefit so much more if Groucho Marx was in it the whole time.
Who's the Bat? I don't know. But I could bat it. I don't know. I give up.
Wow, this guy's really batting 1,000, huh? Yuck.
I just have one question for him. Can cats see in the dark? Yes, but they have trouble holding the flashlight.
Oh my God, I hate you so much. Where do we... Vincent Price is 6'4".
Basically, all you need to know.
Vincent Price is so tall.
Vincent Price is huge.
He's a giant man.
He's genuinely
I never thought he was a short fella, but I thought he was just like average height.
No, yeah,
but then there's
gigantic.
One scene where he's talking to a woman, and he is towering over her.
And we were trying to figure out if it's just a small woman or a big man.
It's a big man. And maybe also a small woman.
It kind of was a disservice, though, because every time you see the character of the Bat, like, breaking into this house, it's literally a small man.
Yes, it is a shorter fella.
So, like, having... they could have, like, disguised his height throughout the movie and made all three of these men seem a little bit more similar in build, right? But they didn't. They chose not to.
So, basically, the gist of, like... I don't want to get too in... Like... We could wrap up this movie so fast.
We could literally wrap up this movie in 5 minutes.
We could talk very little about this movie, but basically what goes on is there is money at stake that has been hidden inside of this house where this mystery novel writer is writing. I don't even know. She doesn't matter. This character.
She really doesn't matter. She had a bunch of money.
Yes.
And that's it.
And that's basically all that matters. But she's staying in this house where money has been hidden. This character of the Bat is trying to, I guess trying to kill her, but also trying to sneak into this house to steal the money from them.
Wait, I'm just thinking about this plot real quick. It's so stupid.
It's so fucking dumb.
They literally have a group of people inside of a house all searching for a stash of money. And then there's this one guy dressed as a bat trying to break into the house to get the money. And they keep seeing him and he just runs away and then comes back the next night.
And
That's the plot of this goddamn movie.
What's so funny about it, though, is the fact that they feel the need to be like, oh, there's been a string of killings from the serial killer, the Bat. He's not there to kill any of them. He's just here for the money.
And it's just a cloaked man with a stupid little, what is he called those?
Like the trilby hat.
Yeah, he has a trilby hat. No, but he has a claw. He has a claw.
Yeah. He has like these leather gloves on. One of them is a normal leather glove. The other one has these claw daggers on the end of them.
But he never uses them.
No.
For one. And two, they look like the bugles. They look like you just like, when you
took a bag of
bugles.
bugles, put them on your fingers.
That's all it looks like.
Yeah.
He does one cool thing.
Yeah.
He breaks into a house using like a little suction cup and he cuts the window, but not with his fingers.
See, that's the thing. It's cool, but it's not as cool as it could have been. They did it better in Shrek 2 with Puss in Boots.
Absolutely.
Where he takes his claws, spins them in a circle, then he licks his paw and pulls the thing off out of the pane of glass. That would have been so much cooler. But it would have been so much cooler if instead of using some kind of weird glass cutter thing, he took his cool claws and made that cool circular motion and pulled it out that way. But no, I don't understand why they made this the design for the killer is fine. He's in all dark clothes, this trench coat. He's got this black mask covering his face.
When he was shadows, he looked really cool.
Very cool,
when he was silhouetted on the walls.
I like that stuff a lot. But so, they give him this cool design, this cool weapon hand thing. He never once actually uses them to slash someone or cut anything. There's even sequences where he gets in the house and he's cutting phone wires. He, goes to it and grabs the thing with his clawed hand and then takes little wire snippers and cuts them that way. Dude... You're wasting your potential. Utilize the cool stuff. Be a cool villain, please.
So dumb.
Please do that.
Okay,
but anyone he kills is by happenstance. It's just because they happen to catch him trying to steal the money.
And most of the time, he kind of fails at it. Even then,
he's not good at this.
He's just like, oh shit, I fucked up. I'm gonna lock you inside this room and run away.
Yeah.
Ah!
Anytime he gets caught, he just scurries away. Oh god, they're gonna get me. Which is so funny. He's not supernatural in any sense. There is one scene where, for some reason, he takes a live bat and puts it in the room with the two main girls.
But it's not a live bat.
It's not a live bat. It is a plastic bat.
It's a plastic bat.
And it's
so rubber.
But that goes
so
nowhere.
Stupid.
It literally bites one of the girls. She calls the doctor being like, doctor, I think I might have rabies from this rabid bat. He finds it. He's like, no, it's okay. I do experiments. I'm Vincent Price. I do experiments on bats.
Vincent Price. I can tell you that this bat has no rabies.
But immediately they're like, okay, well, Vincent Price has to be the bat character because he's the only one in the movie that is near any bats at all, right?
Yes. So, okay, Vincent Price's office, doctor's office, has a bunch of flying rats, a bunch of bats in it,
yes.
Right? And at one point, this guy breaks in and is trying to, I think, frame him?
Yes.
And he opens a window, and there's a huge bat. Just a giant,
outside of this top
bat.
window, up high off the ground, this little window. And yeah, it's just this glowing statue of a bat or something in his outside of his window that has lights up. What is the purpose of that?
He doesn't get scared.
No.
He just goes, that's interesting. Closes the window. That's it.
But in real world practicality, why would Vincent Price just have that outside of his window?
I don't know. Maybe he wants to get scared of him.
Maybe.
I think I wonder what's behind this curtain.
He just comes to it to remember what's all important at the end of the day.
I think he's actually Batman.
He's really that's another subplot behind this. Vincent Price was actually Batman. The Bat is a serial killer going through this whole movie. He is actually the Batman.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So that was the most exciting scene in the entire movie, though.
Truly it was. But so there are three men in here. They want us to be like, oh, which one of these men is actually the killer, you know? It is Vincent Price, who's a doctor of the town. It is a butler for this house who is coincidentally not there when some of these killings have been happening. So there is some cause to be ooh, maybe it's this guy. I don't know. There's even a bit where there's a detective who calls him out being like, hey, you were ran out of Chicago because you did these robberies. And he's like, yes, but I was acquitted, so I'm fine. So it's okay, you tried for a second there to make me believe this guy was capable of criminal activities, and then he immediately did away with it, right?
Yeah.
And then the third person is the detective who's looking into them.
Yeah.
But honestly, the way he's going about it makes it seem like it's either going to be Vincent Price or this butler character. I didn't really suspect
Absolutely.
the detective that
No, me
much.
neither. The only reason I even thought to suspect him was because he was a man of similar build.
Yes.
And on the poster.
Yes. But again, both the butler and the detective are significantly shorter
Yes.
than Vincent Price is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's one scene where the bat breaks in and he sits in one of the rooms and he's like chiseling away at a wall very loudly.
God damn, he thinks this treasure is hidden inside the walls of this house, and he's just loudly in the middle of the
banging
night
on the wall
in a house full of probably 7 other people.
Yeah.
And just like bang, do, do, do in the
basically had
wall
a
on
big
like the third
sleepover.
floor of the house. Like it's so stupid.
And then they like freak out. This woman comes out. She opens the door. Whatever. He runs out.
he does kill her in the act.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Which
it's implied that she's dead.
She does die. I did not ever see a moment where he killed her.
No, I think he just looked at her.
No,
wrong.
exactly.
Fucking
he even
60s,
ran
man.
past her, but then the people are all crowding around her. They're like, "Oh no, she's dead. Julia died."
Oh,
it's like,
Julia.
how? When did that happen? I don't understand.
But then one of the old ladies throws something at his head and he gets hit. So we're immediately like, okay,
Yes.
so now we can tell which of the killers
Because
is
they're
the killer.
going to have like a bruise on their head or something like that. But then the butler shows up and he's like, "Oh, I was outside. Somebody knocked me out by hitting me on the back of the head." Then Vincent Price shows up. He's like, "Oh, I got in a car crash and hit the back of my head." So I was like, "Oh, well, fuck. Now what do we do?" So convenient for the
So-
both of you.
While all this is happening, I think it's really important that Van Gorder.
We talk about the sexual tension between her and her maid.
Oh my God, they're so horny for each other, dude. So
This is like
horny
a
for each other.
sleeper, like LGBTQ
This was
movie.
the first lesbian movie. I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'm so happy for it.
And we got pretty close to it. You know, they didn't sleep in the same bed, but the Miss Van Gorder slept in her bed, and her maid slept on the couch right next to her.
Yeah, they were.
And you know, you never know what
Listen,
happened in the nighttime.
And looking through the letterbox reviews, we're not the only ones. who
People
clocked
really
that
did feel
sexual
that way. It's
tension.
not just us.
There's also another younger pair of 2 women
Who do
that
sleep in the
also
same
do
bed.
sleep in the same bed and do have a lot of sexual tension.
There's a lot of tension
There's a lot of
there.
tension.
All
So
over
anyway,
the place.
Van Gorder, which is the stupidest fucking name,
Crazy.
She goes and looks for where he was chiseling, and she accidentally traps herself in a room.
Oh my God.
And it's like a secret room.
She finds this secret opening door that then closes behind her. So she's enclosed in this small space, just 4 walls.
And listen, it's just a room in the house.
it's just a room.
My girl, my lady, starts to suffocate and is putting on the craziest performance of suffocation I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yes.
She's like actively dying and running, like
It's like, listen,
rubbing against this wall.
I get that this is a secret room in this house that is like well hidden away.
It's air.
I doubt it is an airtight room that you would suffocate inside of. But that's how other people find her in this enclosed room. They figure out the mechanism. Oh, this is the funniest part. There's some random dude we have not seen the entire movie shows up in the last
yeah.
like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
He finds her, finds a way to open the room, and then he gets inside the room. The door starts to close behind him, and the Miss Van Gorder's like, "No, don't let the door close." He's like, "No, it's cool actually. I found this
button.
I found this hidden control panel behind this one blueprint on the wall, on all of these vacant walls."
Oh wait, really, sir? I looked everywhere for that.
She's like,
You
I
looked everywhere for that?
I really did look. He's like, "Look, here it is. Here's the mechanism to just stop these things. Open the doors as you
Frickin'
please."
women. Am I right, brother?
Yeah.
Let's high five over that.
I don't know. If
Yeah.
we can't.
Yeah,
it's
buddy.
not 1950s anymore. You're
Oh,
kidding me. Stop.
I'm
Oh.
sorry. I forgot. Sexism isn't cool.
How could I forget?
How could I forget?
How could I
God.
get so lost amidst all these 1950s misogynist
Yeah,
stereotypes?
I don't even believe in sexism anymore.
Now you brought me back. But anyway, so they use this weird chamber in the house because it's hiding a safe where we assume all the money is hidden, right? They use this little thing to trap the killer inside of. There's a little bit of a skirmish. We find out the killer is not Vincent Price because, by the way, the bat killed Vincent Price a couple scenes ago.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was trying to frame him.
Yeah.
He was like, "I couldn't take it because I thought they were going to find me, so I've decided to destroy myself." And you see Vincent Price approach him in the room. He's like, "You thought you could get me, but you
thought
can't."
you could get me.
And then they have a skirmish. He ends up killing Vincent Price. Okay, so Vincent Price is not the killer, which I suspected. I thought it was Vincent Price the whole time.
See, I didn't.
So now it's like, okay, so now it's either the butler or the detective, I
was
guess.
completely convinced it was going to be a separate character.
Someone we've never seen before.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
it's going to be some random ass bitch or one of the women.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been better, actually, if it was
Yeah.
one of the girls. That'd
But
be
it is
cool.
1960s.
Yes.
So
Yeah, exactly. Men can't do the dishes and women can't be killers. That's the 1950s.
well, not on a shirt.
But so what ends up happening is they subdue the killer and the Miss Van Gorder is like, I knew it was the butler. He was always so shady. And then the butler walks into the room. He's like, oh, I wish you had thought better of me, actually. No, it's not me. I was away doing this instead. So they're like, let's unmask this killer. It was the detective the whole time.
And it's literally because he just found out about the theft and wanted the money.
Yeah, that's all the motivation he had for this, which like doesn't make sense for all the other killings that went on earlier. It really lost me.
I mean, maybe the killings were fake.
I don't know.
Or maybe he was just a psychopath and he's like, well, I might as well take the money.
Now there's more motivation in it. I can get some cash moolah out of this.
And now you may be thinking to yourself, that was horrible, boys.
Yeah.
Why did you even tell us about that movie? Nothing happened. And in which we respond, I don't know.
I don't know.
This is what we do on our 90th episode.
What really...
We think existentially about the existence
What
of life.
really annoyed me, though, is the fact that they kept trying to push the fact that Miss Van Gorder was this, like, mystery novel writer, and she kept trying to act like she was on the case. She's like, well, if I was writing this, I would write it a little something like this.
But she just kind of randomly said it.
No, exactly.
It didn't fit.
And then at the very end, she kind of gets this closing monologue about, like, the nature of killers and how she always knew it would be this case and how it's exactly how it would play through in one of her mystery novels, which is so funny because before we found out who the killer actually was, she was dead set on like, yes, it was the butler, just as I had assumed, and she was dead wrong on that. Like, I don't understand it.
It was pointless.
But then the very last line of the movie is her kind of walking away from the camera and goes, that's it. That's the end. That's how the movie closes out.
I forgot about that.
We finished it. We done diddly did it.
Diddly-do, neighborino.
So shall we talk about our expectations?
Yeah.
My first expectation said The Price is Right with Vincent Price, and I still stand by that. He will always be great, no matter if he has a good script to back him up or not. Vincent Price is my guy.
Absolutely. Mostly dialogue, yes, but boring dialogue. I'm sure that this dialogue would work really well on a stage. I truly believe that. I think that if they took that dialogue from a stage perspective, it would work.
Which makes sense that it was started out as a rather successful Broadway play, right?
Yep.
I said I will love the vibes, but nothing else will play. And I mean, there was a whole lot of nothing going on here. No wonder the play did not last that long on Broadway. I wrote before I knew that it was it was lasting longer on Broadway. But it makes me really curious what that original play was really like, because I'm not seeing a reason to make like several different adaptations of it.
Absolutely. Packed full of 60 stereotypes. Men
can't do the dishes.
Men can't do dishes. Women can't be killers.
Yeah, that's how it is in those days. I said it could have a killer remake these days, and I mean, I don't know. I feel like they would have to change a lot about the whole plot, so I don't know if that would really play.
Yeah. I don't know, man. A lack of any believable twist. I mean, who even was the killer? I mean, after thinking about it, though, like, I could see how in the 60s, having the cop be the killer would be very effective on stage. Like, I will give it a benefit of that. Like, I could see... I guess at the end of the day, how I feel about this is that it would work better on stage.
Yeah, honestly. Would have been better as a play. Yeah. I said just the corniest effects positive. And honestly, it just the one scene with the fake bat had the corny effects. Honestly, I wanted a lot more from it in that regard. There were not a lot of different effects to be mentioned at all.
Vincent Price will be the only good thing about this film. He was like barely even there. It felt like he was on set for another movie and they kept handing him a script and saying, say these lines real quick and then go back to your
It really felt like he was doing it as a favor to someone else. You know, he was like, yes, I'll come in and I'll do your little play, your movie, whatever. And then I'll go back to mine and do the good stuff, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It really felt that way. I said Batman wishes he could be the Bat, and I think he thinks the Bat brings great shame to his name, probably.
And then... as you remember, my final expectation was Garfield won't actually be in this movie. So I wrote a monologue for this.
Lay it on me.
I'm going to just read this verbatim.
Let's go.
I am sincerely disappointed with the lack of Garfield or cats in this film. Jim Davis was born in 1945, a whole 14 years before this movie's creation. The first Garfield strip was in 1975. That was an entire 6 years after this movie. I fully believe within the right amount of time travel, we could safely get back to the creation of the Bat and add a few references to our beloved cat. This would be then a great time, full of whimsy and charm. But alas, we were left with this hollow shell of a movie.
Whoosh. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
You write that shit?
Yeah, I did.
Damn, that's good.
I typed that.
When you told me literally at the end of our note-taking process, you were like, you're just going to have to let me read a monologue. And I thought you had just found something online you wanted to read. No,
who else? Who on the internet right now is writing about Garfield being in a movie from 1959?
Not enough people. That's the problem. Should we talk about our surprises besides the fact that was a crazy monologue you surprised me with?
I mean, I didn't really have any.
I struggled to come up with some surprises.
My only surprise was that. Well, okay, I had two.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say them.
Yeah, go.
My only two surprises were, one, the music was actually really fun.
Loved it.
And two, there weren't actually lesbians in the movie.
Yeah, that's fair. My surprises were Vincent still, I mean, not necessarily a surprise, but Vincent still stands as a pillar amidst the rubble here, as always. Nothing fucking happened in this movie. Secret lesbians plotline, love that.
Yeah.
And then absolutely no use of the cool claw hands. Like, that really made me sad. You can't just give your killer such a neat, iconic look and then just not use them in any fun, cool ways at all.
True.
So I guess that leaves us with our verdict here.
Yeah,
Are we ready for that?
Let's do it.
I'm sitting at that was Boreable.
Same
Another
dude.
A tried and true, a classic here. This movie has very little to offer in terms of any tension, mystery, or intrigue. Just a drawl of several people sharing dull conversations and being completely oblivious to obvious circumstances around them, and then not caring much about them when they happen and unfold in front of them. I feel like there was a very nonchalant attitude to a lot of people.
It really,
in this movie.
really felt that way.
Any action was tame and short-lived, but amidst it all, we have the wonderful Vincent Price, who will always rise to the top no matter how bad a script is. Rest in peace, you king. Say hi to the bats in heaven for me. But I know this bat will not be there with you.
Yeah, it was plastic.
It was a plastic bat. Plastic bats don't go to heaven.
That was Boreable. The Bat was a perfect example of how to make the world's most boring movie. Take a boring play, adapt it for the screen, have one good actor who is known for their voice barely matter, have a million characters flounder around and not do anything. That's it. You've done it. You've made the Bat. I truly believe this would work well on stage, but not here. And cats can see in the dark, but they have trouble holding the flashlight.
That was very good, Derek. Blah, blah,
Did you even hear it?
me.
Did you even hear it?
I did. It was good.
No, did you even hear it?
Yes.
What did I say?
You said the joke we've done a million times in this episode. What do you mean, did I hear it? Yes, of course I heard it, Derek. Hey, can we...
I'm sorry you turned it into trivia, so I didn't know if you appreciated it.
No, of course I appreciate it more as a bat than myself. Because
Probably expected
do you
it.
feel like maybe I could have had a bit more screen time in this episode as a Batman myself?
Can I tell you what my actual final line of my review is?
Absolutely,
Because
yes.
that was just a fucking... You
Oh,
pissed
so it
me
was
off.
some bullshit.
It was some
was
bullshit.
just
I was
some
trying to
bullshit.
do the bit. I was trying to do the bit.
Please share with me your wonderful
I had a
bits,
bat
Derek.
time with this one, and that's with a capital B-A-D.
Very good, Derek. Can I give you my trivia, please?
Sure.
Because you didn't want me to do my trivia a second ago because I didn't appreciate your good joke. He's gone silent. Oh no, silence speaks 1,000 bats, Derek.
Nice.
Thank you. In a 1987 interview on Sinister Image, 1987, Vincent Price revealed that the stage version had terrified him as a child. He accepted the film role
Why?
because he thought the filmmakers, quote, would revive it and bring it up to date. But he was disappointed with the final results because it wasn't a good script, is what he says.
Oof.
So it makes sense. He saw the original one and it scared him. He was like, oh, this is great. We're going to bring this one back, right? And then it didn't end up living up to it. Director Crane Wilbur didn't have a problem finding an actress to play Lizzie Allen. Lenita Lane was the director's wife. It was her final film role.
Oh.
And after a movie like this, I can kind of see why it makes sense.
Unless
The
you died.
film's musical score is an odd hybrid of classical orchestral music and rock and roll, with a main theme featuring steel guitar riffs by
What?
popular musician Alvino Rey.
Who's that?
I know nothing about that man. This film, interestingly enough, was released as part of a double feature with The Mummy, not the original classic Mummy with Boris Karloff. We're talking The Mummy from 1959, which was really funny that Derek and I had looked this up. Because yes, there's a Mummy movie from 1959, which is its own separate thing. It's got Christopher Lee in it. What's funny to me about it was originally released in black and white, later recolored with Technicolor, and it is quite obvious the horrible uses of blackface that were done within this.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Not that I condone it at all, but they were able to hide it inside of the black and white setting.
Yeah.
But then you bring that to Technicolor, you're like, oh God,
I can't believe they colored it.
why would they do that?
They made it worse. They blackfaced blackface.
It's terrible. It's awful. Awful. But yeah, so it was released as a double feature with The Mummy from that year. This is the 4th film adaptation of the novel in stage play. So there were several other renditions of this. I don't understand why. This is fun to me. The $1 million embezzled from the bank would equate to about $11 million in 2025. So, like, that's the kind of money we're talking about here. That's the kind of money you would kill
I
for.
mean, listen, $1 million is still a lot of money.
Yeah. And then lastly, on the topic of colorizing films, this was one of the first black and white films to be colorized. Unfortunately, the process was still quite primitive with a limited color palette and whole sections of the screen left in black and white.
We didn't watch the black and
We didn't watch the colorized version of it. We just watched it completely in black and white. And honestly, I love the use of shadows and lighting in black and white films, which I think is why a lot of them, even at their worst, still hold up compared to some more modern stuff. You know?
I agree.
But that's our time. That's our time here with The Bat from 1959. What are we sitting at with the Can Cat See in the Dark bit?
That doesn't matter. Let's move back to Garfield.
Okay, yeah. You want to hit up our Garfield horoscope?
I mean,
here?
that's what we always do.
Always. We always got to get the Garfield horoscope. So we are sitting here with our Garfield horoscope. It's a nice summer-themed Garfield comic strip here. We've got Garfield going out and enjoying the sun and just talking about the several things that don't fit in with summer, like snowman or sledding or ice fishing. Those are all things that don't really fit in here with the summer setting. And then he thinks he's about wrapped it up, and then Summer Santa shows up in the last frame here to say, you forgot about me, right? He says, ahem. Anyway, that's that. Derek, who are you in this Garfield horoscope?
I'm 100% the ice fisher who was ice fishing and is then drowned.
That's
and
fair.
Presumably dead.
I'm going to be the snowman who was once a snowman, now is a snow puddle on the floor here.
Be as dedicated to your hobbies as this man is. He is unabashedly a ice fisher to the point where the ice is gone and he is still going. Mm-hmm. He may not be breathing, but he's still hobbying.
That was almost a really good button.
He may not be fishing,
yep,
but he is still dead.
He's still dishing.
He may not be fishing, but he's still Ringling Brothers Circus. He may not be fishing, but he is still believing.
Okay. For
Hey,
me,
wait.
that's better. That's good.
He may not be fishing, but he's still believing.
That's good. I like that. For me, I'm going to be the snowman here. You are a snowman on a hot summer day. The sun is beating down on you, but you are not going to change. You are not going to shift in your attitude, your mindset. You are not going to change who you are. You are the snowman. No amount of sun, no amount of heat, no amount of hate can change who you are deep down to your core. You are the snowman. And the snowman may have melted under the pressure, may have, fallen victim to the hate of the sun, but he's still sitting here. You can still make out the shape of him. At the end of the day, he is still the snowman he was at the beginning of the day. He is unchanged, unmoving, and stay that way. Stay, no matter what kind of heat you're getting in your life. Stay you at the end of the day.
Just be unafraid to be yourself.
Unafraid to be yourself. Absolutely.
If you're fishing, just
keep believing.
Fishing.
Just keep fishing. Anyway, so that is
he
our
may
time.
not be fishing, but he's still wishing.
He's still wishing. So that is our time with the bat here. Next time on That Was Horrible. Up next on That Was Horrible, we've got Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. You guys remember a little movie by the name of Peter? Peter? What? Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 1 and 2 we have now covered on this podcast. A great time the last one was. I'll be honest.
I had a good time with it.
I did enjoy Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. Again, it's still not like a fantastic horror movie, but
Can't forget about the Pooniverse.
Leagues better than that. So yeah, the Pooniverse, which like that name has so many bad connotations.
What do you mean?
It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. But so there are now more movies being released on it. We still have they're going to release a Bambi one. They have a Pinocchio one coming out, but they did already release the Peter Pan horror movie, right? So we are going to check this one out. It was released this year in 2025, has a 43% on Rotten Tomatoes. So that's like
getting up there.
It's a little higher than we usually like to find our stuff, right? But I mean, you all know the story of Peter Pan, so it's not like a crazy synopsis here, but I'll give it to you as follows. Wendy Darling encounters a twisted Tinkerbell as she tries to rescue her brother Michael from the evil clutches of Peter Pan.
Pretty good. I'm actually kind of excited.
I honestly, it really, really piqued my interest. So my dander is up. I am ready to check this one out.
Did you know that dandruff is a fungus that grows in your hair?
That's terrible.
Yeah,
it's awful.
It's not dry skin.
Did you see?
It's a fungus.
I usually learn about things like fungus and ads that I see on social media. Yeah. Speaking of social media, that was a terrible transition.
No, it was actually really good, and I was trying to segue that way because I had one that was going to go into it because I bought some shampoo that was dandruff shampoo from an ad on social media, and then I was gonna.
To speak about things in my personal life for a second, I'm on Twitter and I keep getting these goddamn ads about like foot fungus.
Gross.
And I cannot, I repeat, no matter how hard I try, cannot get rid of them.
For those of you who do not know, Isaac's worst fear in the world is
I
feet.
could not hate feet more. And I hate so much that they keep popping up. And every time I try to get rid of them, it just ends up opening it. And then I get the whole thing across the whole screen.
I just see you sitting there on your couch.
It's like a fucking virus. I don't know what to do.
And you're like,
I guarantee. I'll show you after we finish. After we wrap
my
up here,
God.
I will find one like within 5
Gross.
minutes. Anyway, go follow us if you please. If you've enjoyed our crazy ramblings here and all of our nonsense, go follow us on our social medias. We are on Instagram at _was_horrible, Twitter at TWH Podcast, Facebook at That Was Horrible Podcast, YouTube at That Was Horrible, and TikTok at That Was Horrible.
All right, for the 10th and final time this episode. 10th time. Say it with me.
Can cats see in the dark? Yes. But they have trouble holding the flashlight. Oh, the laugh track goes. Fellas and ladies and dames out there, I have been Isaac.
I've been Derek.
That's Derek. As always, Garfield be with you. Stay spooky.
Goodbye.